If it's just me, but this new Gunnar skin that they're releasing alongside the new character Sue Storm is so ugly to me. If her ass and legs were covered, no one would be buying the skin.
Anyone that is above the age of 25 and has experienced the golden era of American entertainment would know that this skin is not even that lewd. It's pretty much standard. It's what every single game used to have before Anita Sarkeesian came in. Look at the original skins from League of Legends. Look at Mass Effect 2 and the way they designed Liara Tassoni or Talizora Vas Normandy. They had women that would embody feminine perfection. Like very shapely bodies. They didn't have any cellulitis. They didn't have morbid obesity. They didn't try to represent the Democrat Party. It was pretty much like if you would get a Roman from back in the day that would sculpt the statues, and you'd get him into a video game to sculpt the female characters. And so this one even has too many clones. Like, there were video games with Lara Croft that had her in bathing suits and bikinis, and it was in commercials. And you had boof babes at E3. And you know what? Society didn't collapse. Like, no one died. You know what happened? Video games would sell. And it wasn't that they would just sell the video game itself. They would sell merchandise. Like, you would have little figurines, little statues, you'd have t-shirts, you'd have caps, you'd have wallpapers. Back then they would sell them. And so companies would make a lot of money so that they didn't need to push for DLC, they didn't need to push for all these underhanded business tactics, because they would make so much cash from the merchandise. And the gamers absolutely love that. It's like, okay, you're selling me a full product, like that's the deal, you're selling me the full game, and you're not going to use all these weird monetary transactions that are predatory, because you can make the loss in sales from selling the merchandise. And you can even commission third parties to sell the merchandise. I remember World of Warcraft, they had this trading card game that was incredibly lewd. Like, it had night elves on it, and even the undead were hot. And they would make so much money just with that. And it wasn't even their project. Like, they subcontracted another company. And that was how people used to do business back when they understood capitalism. Back when they were understanding that they're an entertainment company that's supposed to provide entertainment rather than educate the world. They would leave the education to parents, to teachers. They weren't trying to take the place of those people. They weren't trying to replace the Catholic Church. They were just trying to provide entertainment. And so if you see a person that says this character is ugly, and they're using words like Gunnars, back in the day we would seriously ask the person if they're not a homosexual. Not as an insult, but like genuinely I want to know. Like, do I need to be careful when I drop the soap next to you? Because if you're looking at this character and you're saying that it is ugly, then have you considered the fact that you're gay? Every single straight man on planet Earth that looks at a shapely woman, if they're straight, they wouldn't say it's ugly. The only thing that they may say is like, please, my wife is here, can we not talk about this later? You know? But either than that, to call a man a Gunnar for liking something like this is to shame him of being born straight. Like, this is normal and healthy heteronormative sexuality, and you have a generation that is traumatized by third-wave feminism, which was trying to convince men that they are evil and they are monsters. They were trying to gaslight men thinking that they are monsters, so they step out of the way and allow the activists to take over. And unfortunately, why that ideology is no longer in vogue as it used to be, the damage that it caused to many people remain. And so, yeah, like if you're gay or if you're a woman, like women can also say that this is ugly, especially if they're jealous.
So ugly to me. If her ass and legs were covered, no one would be buying the skin. Very disappointed, to be honest. So, did she just learn why people buy skins for female characters in video games? It's from Girl Gamers Reddit. What is this here?
Okay, so it is from a woman. I would dismiss that criticism entirely. The same way you would dismiss criticism from a guy that complains about 50 Shades of Grey. Like, 50 Shades of Grey is a movie or a book that is designated for a female audience. Like, that is the targeted demographic. You created that specifically so that middle-aged housewife women would buy it. And as such, Christian Grey is a fictional character that most men, in fact, the overwhelming amount of men in reality, aren't supposed to be able to fill his shoes. Like, he is a insanely rich millionaire. He's extremely charismatic. He's very intelligent. He's very popular. He's very muscular. He's chiseled. And on top of that, he's also a little bit of an asshole. And he's got certain trauma. And he's a pervert. And that is like what the author thought that is the perfect man that most middle-aged women would resonate with. And apparently it's astounding success. Now, are there some men that may enjoy reading 50 Shades? Sure. But the overwhelming amount of people that like 50 Shades are women, so that's why, as the author, those are the people you're trying to please. Those are the people that you're going to listen to criticism. There may be some gay men that like 50 Shades, and there may be some straight men that like 50 Shades, but you wouldn't consider their criticism at all, because if you actually listen to what they have to say, you may end up losing your main audience, like your core demographic, which is the middle-aged housewife women, maybe some teenage girls that also like 50 Shades. If you actually listen to the criticism from the others and say, hey, can you not make the guy, Christian, can you not make him more relatable, like make him more like me, make him a little bit more fat, make him a little bit more insecure, don't make him a millionaire, right? You change those things and you lose the demographic. It's the same thing with other stuff that's made for women. If you start complaining about True Blood, or if you start complaining about Twilight, or if you start complaining about any of these shows that are specifically designed to cater to women, your criticism as a man should be invalid if the person wants to make cash. And it's the same thing here. Like in Marvel Heroes, you have a sexy female character. I don't care what girl gamers have to say. If they don't like it, they should play another game. Like, there are other games that cater to women. They can play Sims. They can play... there's a lot of phone games. Why do they have to play this? Like why can't there be a game out there that is specifically designed for men? That's another thing that third wave feminism says. That somehow it's evil to create something that only caters to men. Why, though? Like the same thing, right? Like Twilight and 50 Shades, these are works of art that cater specifically to women. And there's absolutely nothing wrong about it. Like, why can't women have their hobbies? Why can't women have their girls' night out? What is wrong with that? And if there's nothing wrong with that, why can't men have the same thing? Like, why can't there be certain hobbies that cater predominantly to men? And if women happen to like it, fine. But like, the hobby as a whole should actually cater to the male demographic. And there should be hobbies that cater to the female demographic. And in a capitalist society, everyone gets to pick and choose which hobbies they like most.
Here, this is making me legitimately depressed. I hate how everyone ignores the blatant sexualization in this game just because it's fun and popular.
No, the blatant sexualization in the game is why the game is fun and popular. What's wrong with sexualization? Since when did we declare war on humanity? Like titillation and sex appeal is part of the human nature. Why is it that we have to remove it? Since when? Why can't art have anything to do with sex appeal? We're not even talking about pornography here. We're just talking about having art where men look like Christian Grey and women look like these characters. What's wrong with that? Like, since when did we as a society decided that it's wrong? And in fact, you know, this is something that it seems American Zoomers have decided. Why should we from Europe, why should people from Asia take from their morality regarding this issue? It's just like a superhero. And you know what's funny? It's that, again, these designs aren't even that lewd. If you want to see lewd designs, go and watch X-Men. Like, pick an X-Men comic book and look at Emma Frost. She's almost naked. And she's a lot more shapely than what the Chinese people were doing. And again, it's so fascinating, right? Like, the American school of thought is capable of producing flop after flop after flop. Like, their entire industry is like, how can we pump $300 million into a video game like Concord and then ending up so that no one wants to play it. Like, absolutely nobody wants to play it. And then the Chinese come like, let us show you how it's done. And you're like, oh my god, but it's so vile, it's so disgusting, it's so ugly. Sure, but look how much money they're making. In other words, people are telling that you're a moron. Like, you are so phenomenally outnumbered by normal people that maybe it's you that's the problem. Did you think about that? Like, maybe it's your mindset, it's your way of thinking that's regressive and backwards and stuck into the 2016 era. You are the one with the brain rot. I genuinely don't understand. It used to be that old people would have this mentality. It used to be that, you know, grandmas in their 75s would be like, oh my god, look at the tits that she is wearing. Oh, why can't she cover it up with a rag? Oh, what is wrong with youth these days? Like, it would actually take a couple of decades for people to become this spiteful and this jealous. And now it seems that Zoomers are having their brain aging so fast that they're like a grandma from my generation over pixels. At least my grandmas were upset about actual girls going clubbing, you know? It's like they would sit on the street and they would see like girls going out and be like, oh, look at those whores, look how they're dressing, oh, that is so disgusting, that is so vile, you know? But again, those were real people because grandma was jealous. She wasn't in her teens anymore and she was looking at all those teenagers going out clubbing and she would be horrified. But now, like, you're horrified by pixels. By fucking pixels. Jesus.
What are you, retarded? They're not ignoring it. That's why it's popular. That's why it's fun.
Literally every female character in this game has the exact same body type. This sub shouldn't be so approving of.
It's so interesting, right? They keep saying beauty is subjective, but it seems that the AI actually knows what is beautiful. And it seems that, yes, there actually is a body type that most people get behind. It's not like you can get bored of it or something, you know? It's not like eating too much of the same thing, it makes you get bored. Or if you read the same thing over and over again. No, like, this seems to actually be like this body type is designed to titillate the senses. And if it titillates the senses and the players enjoy it, why give them less? What would the business thing be like? Okay, people like this type of product. People are buying this type of product. Let's change it. Why?
This game. Ugly ass skin. Notice how they purposely have her grippers out in comparison to the comic boom version.
Even though I love the game, I won't be playing anymore.
Good. Oh my god, this is awesome. Awesome. Oh, that if they gatekeep themselves, this is amazing. You know what's interesting though? If they didn't want this game to be successful, they could be playing Concord. If you actually had like this type of mentality, and most people agreed, and they would be playing Concord, Concord would be successful. You wouldn't even be talking about this game. The only reason you're talking is because you're upset other people play it. Like this is the mindset, right? And I want you to think about this. Which person is more immoral? Which person is more vile and disgusting? The random individual that installs a game in their own bedroom and they're playing this video game by themselves without bothering anyone, versus an individual that is so concerned about what you're doing in your bedroom that they're molding over it. Like, they genuinely are seething over the fact that you installed the game on your computer and you're playing it. And if they had the power, they would do anything they could in order to stop you. Which type of person do you think does more damage to society? Which type of person would you not want as a neighbor?
I would play Concord. The girls there have realistic body types.
No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Or if you would, you are like one of the rarest people that humanity has to offer. You're such an almost close to extinction breed. Because I know, since even when the game went free in the beta, even when the game was announced that's going to shut down, no one was playing it. So no, you wouldn't play Concord. Like, these are the type of individuals that just say anything for the sake of being viewed as popular.
Though it is a dead game.
And by the way, the reason they can even say this is because of the Reddit mods. Like, Reddit actually calls its forum to the point where if you disagree, if you go there and you say, no, this game is perfect, you get banned. And so, like, Reddit is a mental asylum. Only people that are insane are allowed to go in. I'm not even kidding. Like, Reddit is de facto a mental asylum. If you're normal in your head, if you're healthy and you want to go there, you get banned. They only want crazy people in there. And this is why they even have these conversations that you do not find anywhere else on the internet.
My boyfriend bought one of the sexualized skins and it gave me the ick so hard. I constantly vent to him about how annoying it is that most games are...
Look how petty she is. Like, imagine me getting upset because my wife wants to read 50 Shades of Grey. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, lady? Like how can you... I am willing to guarantee to you that this is not a healthy relationship. Now, if your boyfriend was actually watching pornography, right? Or he was subscribing to OnlyFans, or, you know, he was donating money to some Twitch streamer that shows naked tits, I would get it. I'm no, like, seriously, I would get it. But it's, your boyfriend is playing a video game which has a little bit of sex appeal. That's not over the top. Like, it's no different than Mass Effect 2. It's no different than the old American comic books. Hell, there's even Disney characters that are more lewd than this. And so, if your reaction is like, oh, it gave me the ick so hard, I don't think you're going to have a healthy relationship. Like, I think you're too overbearing. I think you're way too invested in your boyfriend's hobbies and personal life, and you're going to end up breaking up. I guarantee to you. And you're going to blame the pixels. You're not going to blame your attitude.
Either targeted towards men, or if they do feature a woman, they're heavily sexualized.
You want to know the reason why girls are cosplaying these characters? It's because they're attractive. If these characters were ugly and fat and disgusting like what these people want them to be, you wouldn't see these girls cosplaying it because nobody wants...
By the way, I don't think it's hypocritical. It's not the same girls, right? Like, you have the spiteful grandma mentality people, and they're actually the fringe minority. They're not playing Concord, right? The overwhelming amount of women, they have no problem with this. In fact, like, outside America, in Europe, like, no one has a problem with this. My wife has no problems with this. In fact, like, she would probably choose to play this game than to play Concord as well. No one wants to see ugly or sick people. No one wants to see, like, morbidly obese, body type B, chest scars, cellulitis infected, whatever do you have, like, in modern Western game. That's why they're failing. And so... I don't see it as hypocritical, right? Because it's not the same women making the same criticism unless they're zombie unicorn. Like, that actually did happen. It was a lady that painted her tits, and at the same time, she was upset about boof babes. So, like, you can eventually run into the crossover event. But it's rare. Like, most women that are like this, these are the ones that are sane. Like, these are the ones that actually understand humanity, that are like, okay, I'm not going to spurg out over this. In fact, I may even cosplay, and I may even enjoy my time doing it.
Wants to be that person. Here's the truth. Go tell a girl that she looks like a Concord character and see...
Absolutely. Fucking yes. Absolutely.
What she tells you. She's gonna be fucking furious.
They actually did that, not with Concord characters, but with Lizzo. There was a guy, and he asked a lot of women, it's like, what do you think about Lizzo? And a lot of people were like, oh, she's beautiful, oh, she's hot. And then it would tell those women, it's like, oh, so I think you look like Lizzo. And they would get really upset. It's like, what do you mean? What does that supposed to mean? And it's like, yeah, literally, they're so fake. They're lying about everything. They just want to have the correct opinion. And unfortunately, and this is what really bothers me, they're ruining the American entertainment industry because people have listened to them, and now China is taking over. This game is made in China. And so, I actually like American entertainment. I grew up with it. I like my Mass Effects and Dragon Ages. And I hate to see that the future is going to be Chinese. Because politics is downstream from culture. And if China gets to actually entertain your kids with games that are trying to understand the market instead of lecturing it, that are trying to provide entertainment, your kids are going to have an affection towards Chinese values. But it is what it is, you know? And this is the funny part. All those people that were complaining in this video, they're the ones that actually managed to get their way. America listened to them, cater to them. They weren't interested in buying the product, but instead all the companies that were promoting these products got bankrupt. And so you have China stepping in, and China doesn't give a single flying fuck about what you think. That you can't shame China. You can't do anything to shame it. In fact, like, they're probably happy that you're displeased. And this is what you did. You managed, like, congratulations. You thought that America is a straight, heteronormative, cisgender, capitalist patriarchy and it should step down. So it did step down. But unfortunately, someone else took over. That money isn't going to go into your country's pockets. Like, you're not going to collect taxes from it. The merchandise, you're not going to sell that. The values, the culture, you're not going to have a say in it. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.